First, everybody thought Johnny Depp was a monster, and then new information came up. And then everybody was like, justice for Johnny, this has been going on, but then new information comes up. Just last week, right? It was last week, some text messages surfaced that he, on the stand, said that they were from him, where he was all like, let's skin that bitch alive. Like, and she needs, like, there was some really, really, like...
really graphic things.
Graphic and violent text messages.
That makes me think of, there was one time, one of John Mulaney's, this is going to be a little bit of a lighter note, but John Mulaney, one of his specials, he's like, he makes a joke and he's like, I hope that I never have to say that on court. And he's like, y'all ever had a joke, like, written on, like, in court? It never goes the way that it is.
Yeah,
because
it's
talking about, like...
Yeah.
Well, he's also talking about, like, this one time, like, there was a party, some of his friends got in, like legal issues for some college party, and then the trial dragged on for a really long time. And his friend is like, hey, by the way, like, you might have to come to trial and, like, testify and, like, all this shit. And or you should be worried. And he's like, why should I be worried? Like, number one, this isn't a case about me.
Yeah.
And his friend was like, well, because they were going through emails because they had, like, improv class together. And he was like, they were going through emails. And one of the emails that the friend sent was, oh, I'm going to be late to improv class because I have to do something with my neighbor about the trial. The neighbor was the one that ended up suing him. And John Mulaney responded in the email saying, that really sucks. Hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you? And then they ended up like they were going to use that, like, in court. Yeah. But I feel like that's like what I mean with, like, new information is that when that comes out, people are like, Johnny Depp is not going to kill Amber Heard. You know what I mean?
But it just doesn't look good still.
Sure, it doesn't look good,
right?
But it doesn't change, like, that, like, when I, like, that's not new information. And I feel like a lot of times in cases, like, once you go into trial in cases, they're not bringing you information that really changes your mind. You know what I mean?
Not always.
Because your mind's already. But what if you had, like, let's say, like, when those text messages came up, I'm like, this is why you shouldn't jump ship, or, like, this is why you shouldn't, like, join a side. Because what if, like, those, just on paper when you read them, I'm like, man, that doesn't look good. Obviously, especially me, that I preach nuance so much, I'm like, I'm gonna wait still, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, that's not a good look. If you're trying to prove that you're not, and then what if they show evidence? What if they continue putting at that string, and then they show evidence that he tried to contract somebody to do it?
Yeah,
everything would change at that point.
But you're talking about what ifs. You know what I mean? And I'm saying
exactly.
like,
but it does change. It will change your mind.
I'm not talking about what ifs.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, from what I've seen, like, typically, and, like, I have not heard of a case yet of whatever, like, in the last couple of years, in whatever, like, issue or whatever crime it was, where people, like, made up their mind and they were like, no, like, I'm supporting this person, and I'm choosing to support this person.
And then it was wrong afterwards?
And then it turns out that they were like, it was completely, like, wrong. You know what I mean?
What about the one,
well, this is that case so far.
Who was the black gay man in Chicago that said he was a victim of a hate crime?
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, Jesse,
not Juicy.
Jesse. Dave Chappelle called him Juicy Smollett. So
oh my god.
Yeah, so with him, like, everyone was like, "Oh my god, like, he's a victim of a hate crime and this and that," and like, this wasn't, it didn't get to court at that point because we found out before then that he was wrong. But what I'm saying is, like, it comes out first and you're like, "Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. We have to find these people and stuff. It was a hate crime and all," and then later you find out that is not what happened at all.
Right, but no. I'm not saying that if it turns out that what you were told is a lie, you're not going to change your mind. Like, of course you're going to change your mind because you just found out that what you thought was true is not.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But when I'm talking about, like, in cases of abuse and stuff like that, like, it is true. You know what I mean? Like, Amber Heard, like, in this case, we're talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Right,
and
now
we're talking
about, like... But at first, we were talking about how he abused her.
100%. 100%. But what I'm
everybody
saying...
was, like... jumped on that train and without any evidence whatsoever, just an allegation, lost him hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's not going to get that back. The reason that we're here now is because of the fact that he is claiming, like, oh, my life got ruined because of this.
Yeah.
And then he gets to be like, yo, like companies refuse to work with me, even though all this stuff is going on, blah, blah, blah. Like there needs to be, like, why didn't y'all wait until all of this happened? The gravity of the collective mind of Twitter, the collective mind of Instagram, the collective mind of TikTok, of all of those things. Everybody like one person can't make a change, but collectively, when everybody's saying the same thing, it makes companies pull the plug on things all the time. So it would be I would be pissed. He has all the right to be pissed.
100%.
Even if people right now are like, justice for Johnny, it'd be like, no, stop until this shit is done, because y'all keep interfering in people's lives and having opinions, and you shouldn't. You should just wait until everything is done and over, so that afterwards, if you agree with it or if you don't agree with it, then you can do shit. But not everything has come out yet. You know what I mean? How wild would it have been if he, in the middle of his allegations at the first time, at the height of the Me Too movement, if he would have come out and been like, yo, I didn't do any of that shit, he would have been blasted with like, bro, that of course you're gonna say that. You're trying to hide you're trying to save your ass. You know what I mean? Of course, like, and then if he would have said, no, she hit me, they would have been like, wow, I can't believe your response is, no, she's the one that abused me.
Even
like,
if even if it was true, people would have been like, that's a lie.
That's crazy.
Unless he has the proof to back it up and like to show it all, which he didn't at the time.
I have the timeline, and that's why I'm having like, I guess like trouble like agreeing, because I feel like, I don't know if I have the timeline wrong, but I feel like that happened quickly.
No, no, it did not.
Because there was a whole case that she won.
She won the first case in the UK.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Everybody was not on his side at all. They were not fucking with him. He was losing shit left and right so much. And it for me, at the end of it all, it's one of those things where, like, I get it. We have things to say. We have opinions, 100%. I'm not against that, especially in something like this, right, where, like, it's going to be public. But just as a precaution, maybe we should wait.
Let's take the UK one as an example, because if I'm saying like, or if you're saying, I
don't really know what that case was about.
I should wait. Let's say that the UK one was like about abuse, and that she won, that, you know, she was a victim of abuse or whatever. Then was that like the right time for people to be like, okay, well, she won the case?
I'm not sure what that case was about. I mean, maybe we can look it up.
But I'm saying, like, hypothetically, like, if that is the case, like, at that point, like, she won, you know what I mean? It's right for people to be like, oh, I'm team her.
Yeah, if the case was about that, and that's what she won, and it was clearly proven that it was the case, then yeah, you can pick a side at that point. You know what I mean? But even then, after that case, it was I'm not. I mean, we have to look it up, but it still wasn't done because this case was still pending. Though, you know, the one from right now was still pending. And I guess that's what I'm just trying to. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that, like, it can do more harm to jump the gun. Now, I will go ahead and admit, statistically speaking, if you want numbers and math on your side, statistically speaking, it almost always works out in your favor to believe the allegation, because fake allegations are few and far between. They're very rare. There's, you know, you don't want to end up getting on the victim blaming game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, statistically speaking, it would be a safe bet for you to believe the person accusing, as opposed to...
She didn't... So, she lost the first... He sued her, I think. Or did she sue him? I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
No, yeah. Depp sued... Heard for $50 million fucking dollars over the fucking article, and
that's this one.
That's this one.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, the one in the UK, he, after losing the first round, a libel
case,
libel trial said in the UK. So the trial in the UK was also about, like, libel. It wasn't. Oh, I think I remember that. And I think basically they didn't the decision was in favor of her, saying like she didn't, what's a proper like verb for it? Liable him? I don't know.
Defame him?
Yeah, but I think it's because of that. It's because there was and that's why they did the defamation trial, is because they were like, well, like on a, like technically that was not libel. It might apply for defamation, but
she,
and I don't think, to be fair, I don't know if she's gonna, or if
her
he's
files
gonna
a
win
$100 million.
Yeah, there's no telling he's gonna win this one either. The defamation cases, just as a quick background, defamation cases are extremely hard to win. Like hard to win, just because of the what that charge actually stands for. Yeah. Right. So you have to prove that like the person willingly did something, which hopefully he wins, and things can start getting. But what I keep going back to is that it can do damage to jump the gun.